Hello everybody. So today we are going to be taking a first look into the Java programming language. Now personally I'm not a big fan of Java, but I'm just currently just briefly taking a look into it, and I'm just going to, I guess, look at it from another language user's perspective, and just today we'll just be looking at types. So I actually do not have a JDK on my computer right now, so I can't actually run Java, but earlier I was looking at a tutorial, and I'm just going to, I guess, demonstrate some of the stuff I learned. So first of all, in Java, everything is object-oriented, which means that everything has to be inside a class. And this class, you have to name it the same thing. Well, you can have multiple classes inside a file, but it's going to, I guess, look for the main function inside the class that's named the same as the file name. So in this case, we have to name the class Hello World, or else it won't work. We can't name it something else, and it has to be a public class, I believe. And now we have this long string of a function, public static void main string args, and right now I'm just guessing that args is equivalent to argv in C++, and the main function, of course, it's regulated, called main, and void, I guess it just means that there's no return type. I guess it doesn't have an exit code like other.
None. Look outside for the 30 seconds for the eye care.
And the void just means that there's no return type, which I guess just means there's no exit code like other languages do. And yeah, it more or less makes sense. And to print, you use system. I can't. System.out.println. And there's print line and also print. So you can use print like this to print without adding a new line at the end. And then this is print while automatically adding a new line at the end. So pretty intuitive, but I do think that this is a bit long. And so you insert like a string literal inside here, and you can put like an integer or something. It's pretty intuitive. And you declare variables with their type, so we can have int a equals 1. And then there's also double for all floating point numbers, which is decimal numbers, basically. I'm not entirely sure if there are different sizes of types, like long in C++, or like unsigned numbers or whatever. But yeah, we just use int and double for the numbers, and there's also string, or maybe not. So that's probably another type. And then you can also use char, and like with, I think Rust, you have to use single quotes when using chars. So yeah, pretty intuitive. And with the operators, it's the same as any other language. You can use a plus equals 1, and then we're like minus equals, modulo equals, divide, multiply, stuff like that. And then yeah, all the other operators are basically the same. It's interesting how like these languages all have very similar operators and syntax. Like most mainstream language, like with the obvious exception of Python, use curly braces, which is an interesting trend, I guess. And yeah, besides this, you can also use final int. I believe this is how you do it. So final int, or final and then type something to use to make it a constant. So if you try to modify this constant, it would throw an error, probably. Again, I can't run this as of now, and I apologize. I'm just gonna not get the JDK for now, maybe next time. And for casting, it's very, very similar to C++. So if you want to declare like a rounded int or a rounded double number, you would do something like this. So if you want to round like 6.9 to an int, then you would do this. And it's the same if you want to convert it to a, yeah, so you can actually like cast directly inside the declaration. And you can, similarly, on a side note, you can also use expressions in declarations. So it's not like some languages where everything has to be known at compile time. So you can, I guess you can do like something equals rounded. So you can do something like this basically. And then, yeah, so anyways, casting. And then, yeah, otherwise, it's more or less the same as other languages. For arrays, it's a little different to C++. So in C++, an array would be like int something like this. And then I think in Java, it'll be like something, which is, I guess, fine, but I'm a bit used to this one by now. So yeah, and everything else, just being picky here, seems pretty verbose. And honestly, I don't agree with how Java is still being taught in schools. It's quite an old language. I think maybe Rust is too difficult for high school, but at least like Python or C++ or something. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover for this video. Just a basic look into Java, and this is more or less all you need to know to create basic like output programs. Input we'll have to look at another time. But yeah, so this is Java from like another person's perspective. Goodbye.